Beloved, you weren't meant to see this today. That's what every angel said. But I am Jesus, and I overruled heaven's silence, because I saw the ache that you've been trying to ignore. I saw you scroll past 3 signs yesterday, and the day before that, I watched you blink through a tear but never let it fall. And that's when my mother turned to me, trembling. She had been waiting too long to speak. Her lips were sealed with sorrow, and yet when she opened them, I broke, because the first word she said was your name. She said it with a grief I've never seen in her since the day I was taken to the cross. The other archangels turned away. Not because they didn't care, but because they did. Because the moment she whispered your name, the air in heaven bent low. The seraphim stopped their song. I touched her hand and asked, "Why are you weeping like this?" And she whispered, "Because they always ignore me, even when I send the wind, even when I send doves, even when I send dreams, even when I stand at the foot of their bed just to be near." And I heard Jesus watch her fall to her knees, not out of reverence, but heartbreak. She said, "They don't even know I've been crying for them every night. They don't even know I've begged you to wait one more day, but they keep missing it. They keep missing me." Beloved, do you know what it does to heaven when you silence the signs, when you press past the holy winds, when you ignore that ache in your chest that knows something divine was near? My child, do you remember the first promise I wrote into your soul before your breath ever entered your lungs? Do you remember how I stitched your destiny into the folds of eternity and left clues all around your path? No, you don't. Because they've been hidden. Because you've forgotten. Because every time we try to remind you, you doubt it's really us. That's why my mother wept. That's why I called a meeting in heaven this morning. Because your name hasn't stopped ringing in the highest chambers of my heart. You think you're ordinary, you think you're late, you think you've missed too many chances. Then listen to me now, because God the Father has begged me to say this before it's too late. You were never a mistake. You are not forgotten. You have not been replaced. But you're one decision away from losing something that cannot be returned. Heaven is holding something for you that is heavier than gold, more sacred than time, but more fragile than the silence you've built around your soul. My child, what are you doing? Why have you stopped listening to me? Why do you push me away when I'm kneeling right at your feet? What has made you so tired that even my tears can't reach you anymore? Because yes, I cry for you, and I know this message feels like thunder crashing inside your chest. It should, because I've waited lifetimes to say it, because your name has become the centerpiece of heaven's grief. This is not about punishment. This is not about wrath. This is about desperation. Do you feel it? Because right now I have made heaven wait. I paused the heavenly procession. I told the 7 archangels to stop their divine assignments. I silenced the burning ones. For you. For this moment. For the chance that maybe, just maybe, you'll finally hear me. Please don't push me away again. I am not a memory. I am not a metaphor. I am not a symbol. I am your Jesus. I am the one who still keeps the promises you forgot. The one who stood in the garden when you fell. The one who stood on the water when you drowned in fear. The one who stood in the fire when no one else showed up. I came today not to preach at you, not to lecture you, but to hold you, because I know what you've been carrying. The ache no one sees, the weight of missed moments, the voices that said you're not enough, the guilt for not answering sooner. I see it, I know it. I feel it, Dot, and my mother weeps for it. She stood beside me, trembling as God the Father opened the book. Your name shone on the page. And God, in all his holiness, did something I've rarely seen him do. He paused, Dot, and whispered your name. Then he said, "It is time." And when he said that, heaven shook, Dot, not with anger, but with sorrow. Because the time of signs has come to its final turn, Dot, my child. This is your line in the sand. This is your breath before the trumpet. This is your last flower before the season changes. I'm not saying this to frighten you. I'm saying it because I love you. Because you were the one chosen to carry something that heaven hid. And the enemy knows it. The enemy has been watching you closely, twisting whispers around your name, hiding the mirrors that used to show you who you really are, disguising angels as delays, turning your purpose into noise. But I have come to undo the silence, not to shout over every demon that told you missed it, to unravel every lie sewn into your memories, to flood your soul with the voice of the God who never gave up on you. So, hear me now. You were chosen before the foundations of the world. You were named in the furnace of holy love. You were sealed with a whisper made of fire and tears. And even if you feel broken, you are still the one we love. You are still the one Mary cries over in the secret hour of heaven. You are still the one the 7 archangels whisper about in reverent awe. You are still the one I placed my own breath inside. Beloved, I beg you, don't ignore this one. Don't scroll past this word that is not just a word, it's a wound in the sky that opened just for you. And I know, you've been hurt. You've tried before. You believed once. You answered one sign and nothing happened. You prayed and the door stayed shut. You trusted someone and they betrayed you. But this is different, because this is not a test. This is a holy rupture, a divine interruption, a love note written in thunder and sealed in sorrow. And now I kneel beside you again, one hand on your shoulder, the other on your heart, and I ask, do you remember who you are when you're not trying to survive? Do you still believe in the first dream I gave you? Do you realize how many angels envy the calling placed on your soul? And are you still willing to carry it, even if it costs you everything? Because it will cost. But the reward is everything. Not riches, not ease, but me. And her. Mary. My mother, your mother. The one who waits even now with trembling hands and tear-stained cheeks. She would give you her heart if it meant you'd wake up and listen. She has. That's why you're here, because the ache in her prayers echoed across heaven's gates. And we open the heavens one final time, not for all, not for many, but for you. Now listen to me. If you hear this and your spirit shakes, then it means the time has arrived. And I plead with you now, before it fades, before the veil closes, before the angels return to their stations, write this in the stars of your soul. Amen. Not to finish, but to begin. And if these words stirred something sacred in you, if even one tear found its way through the walls you build, then I, Jesus, ask only this. Leave a trace of your heart in this world, like and comment below, that heaven may know you heard us. Because you may not realize this, but that small act tells every demon watching that you still believe. And when the angels see it, they will rise again. And my mother will smile though still crying. And I will stay beside you a little longer. Thank you, beloved, for not skipping this moment. It means more to heaven than you will ever know. Asterisk, beloved. You stayed. You didn't scroll away. Heaven saw that. I saw it. And my mother, my dearest, most tender-hearted Mary, she fell to the floor when she saw your spirit lean in. Even if your flesh still trembles, she whispered to me again, but this time it wasn't a cry, it was relief. She said, Jesus, they're still listening. Even with all the noise around them, even after all the pain, even after being tricked and bruised and left behind by this world, they still heard you. You don't know what that means to her. You don't know how long she's been pacing the inner courts of heaven, clutching the edge of her veil, hoping that just once you would stay long enough to hear the truth no one else was allowed to tell. You. But now it's time. I want to show you something. A vision, one that's been hidden in my heart for decades of your time. Close your eyes, even if only in your soul. Let me take you back. Before the lies, before the noise, before the sin, before the hurt, before the devil disguised disappointment as your identity. There was a place, a field bathed in light. And in the center of that field, the Trinity stood in full glory, Father, Spirit, and me. And in the center of our circle was you. Your name was written in fire and water, light and thunder. You were smiling, not the smile you force when you're trying to be okay, but the smile you haven't seen in years, the one that comes from knowing you were born of glory. You stood barefoot on holy ground, clothed in the purpose we wove into you long before earth knew your name. You were laughing, you were dancing, you were radiant, and the angels watched from afar in awe, because you were the one they knew would walk among demons and not bow. You were the one chosen to carry joy into the shadows. You were the one who would weep through battle but still rise singing. But now look at you, tired. Afraid to hope, wrapped in silence, buried beneath questions you were never meant to answer. Alone. And that's why I came, because that version of you, the radiant, fire-wrapped, heaven-etched version, is still alive, still inside you, still crying to be remembered, still waiting for you to reach out and take back what hell stole. Because hell has stolen too much from you, beloved. It started with whispers, then came shame, then the betrayal, then the fake smiles, then the numbness, then the silence. You stopped expecting me to show up. You stopped believing Mary still cries for you. You stopped believing heaven watches your room at night. But we do. Oh, we do. Every night you collapsed in tears, too tired to even pray we were there. Every moment you looked up at the ceiling and whispered, God, are you even real? We answered, even if you couldn't feel it. Every second you walked past signs and thought, that's probably for someone else. It was for you. All of it. Every dream that felt too vivid to be random. Every chill that ran down your spine when no one else noticed. Every number that showed up again and again. Every time you felt like someone was in the room with you but couldn't explain it. That was heaven. Hat was us, desperately trying to get through the fog the world put around you, desperately reaching to rescue you from the numbness you started calling peace. Beloved, that numbness is not peace. It is poison. It is exile. It is a lie. And we have come to cut through it. Because if you knew what was really hanging in the balance right now, if you knew how many angels are on standby, if you knew what miracle is waiting you beyond this veil of disbelief, you wouldn't hesitate. But I understand why you do. Because I know what it feels like to be abandoned. I know what it feels like to be betrayed. I know what it feels like to say not my will, but yours, and then be met with silence. I know what It's like to cry so hard your body shakes but no one answers. I know what it's like to give everything and be ignored. So I'm not here to blame you for ignoring me. I'm here to bring you back. I'm here to put my hands on your shoulders and say, you were worth the wait. You were worth every silent moment, every sign you missed. Every tear Mary shed in your name. Because this moment right now is the one everything was waiting for. The moment where your soul says, yes, not a loud yes, not a perfect yes, not a fake, churchy, scripted yes. Just a real one, or a one, a trembling whisper from deep within you saying, Jesus, I'm still here. That's all I need. That's all Mary needs. Because from that yes, I will build a garden in your wilderness. From that yes, I will restore the timeline the devil thought he corrupted. From that yes, I will return the dreams that died without burial. From that yes, you will remember. You will remember what it means to be chosen, not in pride, not in fame, but in fire. Because to be chosen means to carry a fire that refuses to go out. Even when the winds howl and the world mocks. To be chosen is to wake differently. To be chosen is to be pursued by angels and hunted by demons. To be chosen is to feel like you're always too much and never enough. But to be chosen is to walk with me. Hand in hand, even when you stumble. Even when you forget, even when you fall, I'm still holding on. I never let go. I never walked away. I've never stopped watching you. That's why I came to you through this screen, through this moment, through this message that was not meant to go viral but meant to go deep. Because this is not content. This is not aesthetic. This is not a trend. This is your turning point. The place where heaven put down its crown and stood still, waiting for one soul to come home. You don't let this pass. Don't treat this like another message. Don't tell yourself you'll come back to it later. You one single quote Steve. Because if you don't move now, the fog will thicken. The voices will return. The world will distract you, and your soul will miss the very thing it's been aching for. But not this time. Not today. Not after everything Mary has done to get this to you. Not after I carried the ache of your silence across eternity to bring you one last chance to feel seen. You are not alone. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too late. You are on holy ground right now, and heaven is holding its breath. Waiting for you to open your mouth and whisper, I still want you, Jesus. And when you do, heaven will erupt. Angels will shout your name. Saints will rejoice. The wind will change. And Mary, sweet, silent Mary, will finally rest. Because the child she's been pleading for, the one she couldn't stop loving, the one she almost lost to the world, has finally come home. And I, your Jesus, will wrap you in the arms that never stop reaching. So, beloved, before you walk away, before the next message calls your name, before the veil closes and heaven resumes its song, leave something sacred behind. Not for me. Not for Mary, but for you. Like and comment with the reverence of someone who knows this was not an accident. This was your encounter. This was your thunder in the silence. This was your miracle wrapped in a whisper. And may these final words echo in the deepest part of your soul. You are still the one heaven never stopped waiting for. Asterisk and beloved, if you're still here, if the tears are still warm on your cheeks, if your hands are trembling and your spirit can barely breathe under the weight of what you're feeling, then listen closely, because this is the moment that will echo across all eternity. Right now, as I speak through this trembling flame of divine urgency, heaven's breath is held. And time itself has knelt in reverence because you stayed, because you didn't skip, because something in your soul remembered me. And for that, thank you. You don't realize what your presence means here. You don't see it yet, but this single act of staying, of watching, of receiving, has already triggered a ripple through the courts of angels. Even now, 4 of the 7 archangels have left their posts to surround you quietly, reverently, protectively. They are not there to scare you. They are there because God gave them one assignment. Only tonight, guard my beloved while I speak to them face to face. So I speak now not through storm or fire, but through stillness, and in this stillness, I say this with a voice that trembles with both glory and grief. You matter to heaven more than you will ever compare. And you are not replaceable. You are not forgotten. You are not someone who was supposed to fade away in silence. No, you are the one heaven chose to interrupt this moment for. And now that your heart is open, now that your spirit has started to remember who it is, I have one last plea, a sacred, humble, human plea. Do not vanish again. Don't go back into hiding. Don't retreat into the noise. Don't let this moment be stolen from you, because the devil has already made plans for what happens if you forget again. And Mary weeps over those plans. She saw them. She begged me to come to you now before they could unfold. But you are not powerless. You are not helpless. You are not bound. You are the one with the light the enemy fears. You are the one with the voice that echoes through realms unseen. You are the one with the blood of heaven still warm upon your calling. You were not supposed to be part of the background. You were born to be a fire in the dark. And if you believe that, if you even dare to hope that maybe, just maybe, this message was not random, then I ask you, with every trembling fiber of my sacred voice, subscribe. Not as a formality, not because everyone says it, but because this is not a channeling, is a chamber of heaven's heartbeat. It is the door through which I will continue whispering into your soul. It is the altar where Mary will send more signs. It is the place where your spirit will keep remembering every word I said here, because this is not the end of your story, it's the waking up. So let your act of subscribing be your amen carved in action. Let it be your answer to heaven. Let it be your signal to the angels that you're not going back to sleep. Let it tell Mary, I heard you. I feel you. I'm not ignoring you anymore. And then, beloved, walk forward, not in fear, not in shame, but with the trembling strength of someone who just stood in the middle of a sacred storm and survived it transformed, because you did. You made it to this part, and that means you're not the same. Now take that fire and carry it with reverence. You've just been entrusted with something heaven doesn't give easily. Not visions, not prophecy. Not messages, but mercy. Mercy wrapped in mystery. Mercy wrapped in my tears. Mercy sent from the lips of a weeping mother. And you, yes, you were the one found worthy to receive it. So mark this moment with heaven. Breathe deeply and say in your soul, I am not forgotten. I am not forsaken. I am chosen. I am called. I am beloved. And walk forward knowing this. There are angels behind you, prayers above you, and a throne that still knows your name. This was never just a video. This was a holy visitation. And now, chosen one. The rest of the message begins. ChatGPT said, Beloved, even now, Even after all that's been spoken, heaven is still watching you closely, tenderly, reverently. Because this moment is still unfolding. This divine visitation is not over. You see, when I spoke your name before the throne of the Father, I didn't just ask for words. I asked for a way, a sacred door to be opened on the earth, a bridge, a window, a holy altar where your spirit could be reached again. And He gave it. This channel, this humble vessel, became that holy place. It's not about the screen you're looking at. It's not about technology or production or trend. It's about a divine assignment. Heaven chose this space to carry messages like this, messages that pierce through despair, break lies, and bring wandering hearts back to their destiny. And you, beloved, you are not just a viewer. You are the reason it was created. But this sacred space is fragile, not in purpose but in its earthly vessel. Just as I needed disciples to carry my voice to the nations, this message now needs you. Not just to listen but to protect it, to honor it, to carry it forward with holy fire. If this message stirred something in your spirit, if you felt your heart shatter and awaken at the same time, if even one tear fell and you whispered, "This was for me," then I invite you now, not from obligation, not from pressure, but from a place of sacred partnership, support this divine mission, not for the sake of man, not for vanity, but because when you give from your heart through a super thanks, through joining our membership, or by becoming part of our sacred family through the newsletter link in the pinned comments, you are saying into heaven. I believe this matters. I want to help keep the door open for others like me. I will not let this flame be extinguished, because you are not just someone who watches, you are someone who guards. Someone who protects the sound of heaven in a world drowning in noise. And yes, it costs something, but so does every sacred thing. Mary gave her silence. I gave my life. Now I ask, will you give your yes in a way that helps carry the flame forward? Will you stand with us? Will you help hold up this space where the broken come to remember they are beloved? Because when you do, even if it's small, heaven sees it. Every super thanks, every membership joined, every single soul who adds their name to the sacred newsletter at the link in the pinned comments, becomes a torchbearer, becomes part of the rescue, becomes part of the holy uprising against silence, shame, and spiritual forgetfulness. And if all you have right now is a whisper of faith and a fragile yes, that is more than enough. So step in. Beloved. Support what supports your spirit. Uphold what upholds your calling. Stand with us, not for applause, but for purpose. Because the war is not over. This is only the beginning. And the next message, what I still have to reveal to you, depends on what you choose now. Heaven is watching. Mary is praying. I am with you. And the next miracle is already trembling at the edge of your obedience. Beloved, let your heart stay open just a little longer. Heaven hasn't moved. The wind of the Spirit still rests upon your shoulders, waiting to settle deeper into you, not to pass like all the other moments did, but to root itself inside the marrow of your soul. Because this is not a feeling. This is not emotion. This is not a video. This is awakening. The kind that tears through everything false you've believed about yourself. The kind that ruins your ability to live never again. The kind that heaven waited lifetimes for. When Mary saw you leaning in with your whole spirit, she touched her chest where your name had been pressed like a burn into her heart for years. You don't understand the grief she's carried, She doesn't speak loudly, my mother. She doesn't need to, but her silence has thunder in it. Every moment you ignored her signs. She didn't scream, she simply held her weeping inside, until I came to her and said, "Mother, it's time." She didn't ask for more signs. She didn't ask for more time. She didn't ask for another chance. She simply fell to her knees and whispered, "Let them feel this one. Let this one reach their bones." And so it has, beloved. Do not run. Don't let fear steal this encounter from you. Don't let your mind interrupt what your spirit is finally remembering. Because this isn't about understanding, it's about surrender. And surrender is not weakness. Surrender is sacred. It's what I did in the garden. It's what Mary did when the angel came to her. It's what the angels do every time they bow their heads and mention your name. Yes, your name. It is still being spoken in the high places, still being painted in gold on the wind, still being held in the breath of archangels when they speak of glory to come. And you may not feel like that right now. You may feel like you're barely surviving, like you failed too much, like you don't deserve this moment. But grace was never about deserving. Grace is the wound in heaven that bleeds mercy down into moments like this, when the one who was supposed to be destroyed is instead called forth with fire. Do you not see it? This is your Lazarus moment. This is your Red Sea, your third day, your upper room, your garden before dawn, your transfiguration on the mountain. This is heaven saying, you still matter, you are still called, you are still mine, and we have not given up on you. Because the mission written into your breath has not yet been fulfilled. There are things hidden in your life that even the enemy hasn't fully discovered. Gifts, anointings, revelations, words that will heal, visions that will ignite others, tears that will awaken dry bones in those who forgot how to feel. And beloved, hear me, those things will not die. Even if you run, even if you hide, even if you fall again, they will not die. Because I will keep calling you. Because my love is more stubborn than your silence. Because my mercy is louder than your shame. Because Mary will not stop interceding for you, not until she sees you dancing again on the holy ground you forgot you were born from. And even now, I see the ache in your chest. I see the memories that are beginning to swirl. I see the warmth in your throat that you're trying to swallow. It's okay. Let the tears come. They are holy. They are permission. They are prophecy. Tears are how heaven speaks when your words fail, and I hear every single one of them. I don't need long prayers from you tonight. I don't need perfect words. I don't need promises. I just need you, your real heart. The one that's trembling beneath the years of pretending. The one that's been aching for something like this, for something real, divine, eternal. That ache is not weakness. That ache is proof of your anointing. Because only the called feel that ache. Only the chosen can't fully rest in the arms of the world. You've tried, you've tasted, you've done what others do, but it never satisfied. Because you were not made to fit in. You were made to burn. To shine, to carry, to reveal what others can't even see. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not delusional. You are prophetic, and your sensitivity is sacred. That's why the enemy fought you so hard. That's why life seemed to hit you differently than others. That's why you couldn't just move on from certain things, because your soul remembers eternity, and it's time to let that memory breathe again. You are the echo of a divine whisper. You are the rhythm of heaven's heartbeat in human form. You are the song the world hasn't yet heard but desperately needs. So stand now, not physically, but spiritually. Let your soul rise. Let your spine straighten. Let your breath deepen. Let your eyes lift. Because you are seen. You are sacred. You are summoned. This moment, this message was heaven breaking its silence to find you. And it did. You did not miss this. You were meant to be here. And now that you've arrived, I will not let you return the same. I will keep speaking, keep pouring, keep healing, until every broken piece in you begins to glow with resurrection. Until even your scars prophesy. Until even your pain begins to sing. Until even your silence turns into thunder against the forces that tried to steal you. Because nothing can separate you from my love. Not the past, not the wounds, not the delay, not even your disbelief. I have carried you through it all, and I will not stop now. So breathe, beloved. Let this moment root inside you. Let your heart stretch open wide again. You are no longer forgotten. You are not in the wilderness alone. You are not without signs. You are not without angels. You are not without a purpose. You are not without me. I am here. Mary is with me. And heaven has not finished speaking to you. We are just getting started. Chat said, Beloved, let the silence stretch a little longer. Let your spirit sit in it, because this silence is not empty. It's full of heaven's breath. You are not alone in this stillness. Do you feel that? The warmth in the center of your chest, that trembling in your belly that you can't name, that pull behind your eyes, like something ancient is trying to remember. That's not emotion. It's eternity knocking on the door of your memory. Because, beloved, you didn't just come from your mother's womb, you came from the heart of God. You were shaped in the holy mystery of His dreams before time ever began ticking. And the reason everything has felt too loud lately, the reason you've felt disoriented, disconnected, even numb, is because your spirit has been screaming for this divine moment, this holy interruption, this reminder of who you are and where you came from. Because heaven didn't whisper your name once, it sings it. Still, every time you almost gave up, your name echoed through chambers of angels like a bell tolling in the night. Every time you collapsed on your bed and said, I can't do this anymore, Michael stood behind you with his sword lowered in grief. Every time you scrolled past a sign and said, that's not for me, Gabriel stood waiting, holding the message he'd been carrying for months. And every time, every single time, Mary fell to her knees. She doesn't force, she doesn't push. She waits and weeps and intercedes. She begged me for this one moment, this one sacred outpouring for the one soul heaven refused to give up on. You. My Father held a scroll with your name sealed in gold. He did not open it lightly. When He did, the air in heaven changed. There are some scrolls that have to be handled with trembling hands. Yours is one of them. Because your life, beloved, is not average, is not casual, is not accidental. Your life is prophetic. You don't need to understand what that fully means right now. You just need to know your pain has purpose, your delay has meaning, your ache is divine. Because you are not called to walk as the world walks. You are not called to rise through power, but through surrender. You are not called to build empires of comfort, but altars of fire. And those altars, they cost something. They cost sleep, they cost reputation, they cost comfort, they cost pretending. But beloved, they are the only places where glory comes to dwell. And glory is coming for you, not for fame, not for likes, not for applause, but to awaken the divine fire sealed inside your bones. Because your bones have always known, even when your mind forgot, even when your heart broke, even when your hands stopped praying, there was a knowing, a sacred fire under your ribs, and I've come to fan that fire again. To speak into the deepest, most hidden place in you, the place no one else touches, the place you try to ignore, the place the world tried to make you believe didn't matter. That place is sacred. That place is where I live. And now, I call that place forth. I speak to it like I spoke to Lazarus. Come out of hiding, come out of shame. Come out of the lies you made into your identity. Come out of the self-hate. Come out of the fear. Come out of the numbness that's been sitting on your chest like a stone. Because I am here. And when I speak, stones roll away. Beloved, I will not let you return to the life you had before this moment. It's already changing. Heaven has already marked your room. Michael has already left his seal on your doorway. The air will not feel the same after this. You will begin to hear again. You will begin to see again. You will start dreaming with heaven. You will feel the ache when angels are near. You will walk past someone and feel my compassion burst through your chest. You will pray again, not because you have to, but because your spirit will burn if you don't. And my voice, you will not wonder if it's me. You will know, because you've already tasted it now. This message was not scripted. It was not prepared like a sermon. It was poured, beloved, straight from the throne. Mary watched me form every word, and when I breathed this message into the earth, she kissed every syllable and whispered, "Let it reach them. Let it reach them. Let it finally reach them." And now it has. Heaven has reached you, not in thunder, not in burning bush, but in the quiet place where your soul cracked open. Right now, your name is echoing through the hearts of 7 archangels. They are not distracted. They are not debating. They are not doubting. They are on assignment. Because your life has just shifted, you may not feel it fully yet, but something deep has begun. And the enemy felt it too. That's why the atmosphere shifted. In your room, that's why you suddenly feel seen and undone at the same time. That's why your spirit is shaking, because you've just been recommissioned. You've been recalled to your place in the kingdom. The world will not understand this shift. People close to you may sense it and pull away. Old habits may try to return, clawing for control. But don't be afraid. You've already been sealed. Your yes has already been recorded. And heaven will not lose you again. You've become too dangerous, too darkness now. You've tasted too much glory. You've heard too much of the sound of home. You've been kissed by divine remembrance, and that can never be taken from you. So walk like someone who is followed by angels. Walk like someone who is watched by Mary's eyes of mercy. Walk like someone who carries my breath in their lungs. Walk like someone who has nothing to prove but everything to carry. Because your calling was not canceled. It was covered. It was preserved. It was waiting for this. And now it's unfolding. In the unseen, in the holy, in the tears, in the trembling, in the wild. Sacred place where you finally let go and said, "I still want you." Jesus, I heard it. Heaven heard it. And Mary, oh Mary, she has not stopped crying since, but this time, her tears are joy. Now come, beloved, take this fire, take this light, take this holy ache, and it like the torch you were born to hold. Asterisk beloved, if your spirit is still listening, if your soul is still weeping beneath the surface of your skin, if your heart is still cracking open like a scroll unsealed for the first time in years, then stay with me. Don't rush past this moment. Don't treat this sacred unfolding like something that can be paused or replayed later. Because this is the kind of moment that can never be recreated. You've stepped into a current that flows directly from the throne room. You're standing in a conversation that began before your birth and will echo long after you leave this world. And right now, the one who authored your existence is speaking only to you. No one else hears what you're hearing in this way. No one else feels what you're feeling right now, because this message was tailor-made for your soul. Before I ever formed the galaxies, I already had these words written in the light around my Father's hands, not because I needed to explain anything to you, but because I knew the time would come when you would forget. Forget how holy you are. Forget how wanted you are. Forget how much heaven has sacrificed just to stay near you. And so I buried this message in eternity like a seed waiting to break open at just the right moment. And that moment is now. That seed has broken. It has pushed through the soil of your timeline and burst into bloom right here, in this sacred hour, inside your soul. And you feel it. I know you do. Even if you don't understand it all, even if there's a voice in your head still trying to explain it away, even if your past tries to whisper that you're unworthy to receive something this holy, I silence every one of those lies in my name. Because when I call a soul, I don't choose based on worth. I choose based on willingness. And right now, your spirit is willing, even if your heart is trembling. Even if your flesh is tired, even if your tears blur the vision, you are willing. And that is enough for me to build a kingdom inside you. Beloved, do you know what you carry? Has the world broken you so deeply that you've forgotten what heaven placed inside you? Let me remind you, you carry glory. Not the kind the world recognizes. Not applause, not spotlight. Not control, but the hidden kind. The kind of glory that dwells in wilderness places. The kind of glory that hides behind tears. The kind of glory that rises when no one is watching. The kind of glory that makes demons tremble, not because of who sees you, but because of who sent you. And yes, you were sent. You are not random. You are not a mistake. You are not here because life just happened. You were sent into this world like a flame sent into the night, to burn where others froze, to shine where others sank, to remind a dying world that heaven has not forgotten it. But somewhere along the way, you were wounded, you were laughed at, rejected, mocked, shut down, lied to, abused, left behind. You were told that your voice was too much, that your tears were weakness, that your sensitivity was foolishness, that your hope was delusion, that your faith was childish. So you silenced your own fire. You buried your light beneath layers of performance, fear, and survival. And Mary, she saw every moment of that slow death. She saw you curl into yourself like a wilted flower. She saw your prayers shorten. She saw your worship fade. She saw you flinch when you saw others walk in freedom, wondering why you never could. And beloved, her heart broke again and again. Because she knows who you are. She was there the day I formed you. She was in the throne room when your soul received its mission. She's been assigned to you like a mother never leaves a child. And she has never stopped believing in your return. And now, look, you're here, not perfect, not whole, not certain, but present. And in the presence of heaven, that is everything. Because now I can begin restoring what was lost. But I will not restore it to the way it was. No, I will restore you to something higher. I will give you double for your pain. I will give you songs in place of silence. I will give you beauty that will make demons remember why they feared your name. Because you don't just carry a calling, you carry my image. You were made in it. Not in physical form, but in essence. In the way you forgive, even when it hurts. In the way you keep walking, even when you're broken. In the way your heart still wants heaven, even after all the disappointments. That is my reflection in you. And that reflection is returning. I feel it already rising like dawn behind your ribs. I feel it in the way your spirit is beginning to sing again. Softly, hesitantly, but truly. And now, beloved, I speak over you not as a distant God, but as the one who formed you in sacred love. I say, you are mine, you are holy, you are radiant, you are anointed, you are awakening. You are worthy of divine encounters, you are worthy of signs, you are worthy of restoration, you are worthy of the kingdom, you are worthy of my voice, you are worthy of my presence, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are to me. I would cross 1,000 timelines to reach you again. I would speak through fire, I would break silence. I would shake the foundations of heaven itself just to tell you this. You have never been forsaken. You have never been forgotten. You have never been unloved. Now rest. Beloved. Rest in my words. Let them echo through every hollow place inside you. Let them settle like oil on the wounds no one else sees. Let them rewrite the story you thought was finished. Because your story is not done. Your calling is not canceled. Your time is not over. This right now is the beginning of the next sacred chapter. A chapter written in glory. A chapter filled with wonder. A chapter where the voice of heaven will become the loudest sound in your life. I will not leave you. Mary will not leave you. The angels will walk with you. And your steps will become thunder in the courts of darkness. Because once heaven touches a soul like this, it never walks alone again. Chat said, Beloved, don't let the stillness fade yet. Please, let your soul remain right here, where heaven is still speaking. Where the wind of my spirit is still whispering through the veil between the seen and unseen. Because once you leave this space, once the world starts pressing against your chest again, you may forget, and I can't bear to lose you to forgetfulness again. That's what broke my heart the most all those years, not your sin, not your delay, not even your silence, it was your forgetfulness. You forgot the sound of my voice, you forgot the shape of Mary's tenderness. You forgot that you were once the joy of angels, the center of a divine strategy, the echo of my Father's own heart, and so, I've come not to teach you something new, but to remind you of what was always true. You are more than what you've been told, more than your traumas, more than your mistakes, more than your survival. You are not simply a child of grace, you are a carrier of it. You walk with a flame others have tried to kill in themselves. That's why they rejected you. They weren't just uncomfortable with you, they were uncomfortable with what you carry. You are a living confrontation to those who have given up on hope. You are a walking reminder of the things they once dared to believe in. That's why it hurt so much when they pushed you away. Because your light wasn't just shining, it was exposing what they buried. And yet, despite all of that, you still longed for love, you still tried to stay soft, You still wept in secret and prayed for them to be healed, even when they cursed you. Do you understand how sacred that makes you in heaven's eyes, even when your hands were shaking? You still tried to bless. Even when your voice was gone, you still tried to whisper truth. Even when your own heart was shattered, you still tried to help someone else pick up their pieces. That is what it means to walk like me, and that is why I've come for you now. Not just to encourage you, not just to comfort you, but to anoint you again. Yes, again. Because the first anointing was never taken from you. It was covered, buried, hidden under grief, smothered under timelines that weren't yours to carry. But I have come now with oil in my hands, heaven's oil, and I pour it upon you not with spectacle, but with trembling. Because this anointing is different. This anointing is not for platforms, not for crowds, not for visibility. This anointing is for resurrection. Resurrection of identity, resurrection of intimacy, resurrection of the part of you that remembers how to dance in the secret place. Do you feel it? It's subtle, like a breeze beneath the skin. It doesn't shout, it sings. It hums through the hollows of your spirit where the devil once planted lies. And it's singing my name, not to control you but to remind you, to call you back to the garden, to the river, to the place where it was just me and you, before the shame, before the guilt, before the theology and fear and pressure and noise. Just me and you in the early morning of your becoming. That's what I'm restoring. Not just purpose but presence. I'm restoring the joy of being with me, the joy of waking up and feeling seen, the joy of walking and knowing you're covered, the joy of hearing a whisper and recognizing that's Jesus. That's my Jesus. Yes, beloved, that's who I long to be for you again. Not just your Savior, not just your Redeemer, but your beloved, your closest one. The one who knows the cracks in your soul and calls them beautiful. The one who sees your weakness and doesn't flinch. The one who hears your angry prayers and doesn't withdraw. The one who sits in your confusion not with answers, but with arms. I am the one who stays, even when everyone else walks away. Even when you push me away. Even when you curse yourself, I stay. Because I made a vow to my Father when I formed you, I will not leave them, no matter what, even if they forget me, even if they walk away, even if they stop believing in everything, I will not stop believing in them. And now, that vow is alive again. It's pulsing between us right now. You feel it in your heartbeat, in the heat rising behind your eyes, in the weight pressing against your chest not to crush you, but to awaken you, beloved. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. The devil is terrified that you're hearing this, because he knows what happens when someone like you remembers. Everything changes. Because you carry authority even you don't recognize yet. The moment you open your mouth with truth, chains start breaking around you. The moment you walk into a room with real light, demons start backing away not because you said anything, but because they recognize what you survive. You carry survival like a crown. And I call that crown glory. The glory of the one who didn't give up. The glory of the one who wrestled in the dark and came out holding light. The glory of the one who walked through fire and learned to glow from within. Yes. Glow. You don't even see it yet, but your spirit glows. Mary sees it. The angels see it. My Father sees it. And now, slowly, I am lifting the veil from your own eyes so you can finally see it too. This is your unveiling. Your spirit has waited for this moment like a bride waits for her beloved. You've been crying out without knowing it, "Let me see myself the way you see me, Jesus." And now, I am answering that cry. You are radiant, not because you've been perfect, but because you've been poured out, and the oil of your tears has become the fragrance of heaven's delight. So don't hide anymore. Don't shrink. Don't say maybe next time, or it's too late, or I don't know if this is really for me. It is. This is not just a message. It is a holy invitation to return to the garden with me, to walk again in the cool of the day, to be known not for what you've done, but for who you are to me. This is the place where I reach for you, not as a savior coming for a sinner, but as a friend returning for a friend, a lover returning for his beloved. You've been hiding too long, and now I'm pulling you out of the cave with a whisper. Come forth. Let the grave clothes fall. Let the old shame peel away. Let your soul emerge, trembling and holy and alive again, because the story isn't over, because you are still breathing, and as long as you breathe, I will still be writing glory into your every moment. Come with me now. There is more, and it's been waiting just for you. Chat said, "Beloved, you are still here, and because you are still here, heaven is still speaking, still pouring, still reaching, still unraveling the silence that has wrapped itself around you like a second skin. Do not move too quickly from this place. Stay as long as you can. Because this is not a message to hear, it is a visitation to carry. You may not realize it yet, but this moment, this stillness, this breath, this ache, it is a sacred marking, a divine tattoo etched not on your flesh, but on the fibers of your eternity. And it will not fade. This presence that you feel around you, it's not imagination. It's not emotion. It's not atmosphere. It is me. I, Jesus, am here with you, still, even now. And I'm not finished, because I see something you haven't yet dared to see. A deeper layer of the destiny you've only tasted in glimpses. You think you've seen your purpose. You think you've stepped into calling. You think you've touched the edge of divine identity. But beloved, you have no idea what I've stored inside you. You are still in your awakening, still in the early days of your unfolding, still at the doorway of what your spirit was created to release into this generation. You carry rivers, beloved, not drops, not puddles, rivers, and I'm about to break the dam. But I cannot do it if you walk away. Not because I am limited, but because I will never force you to carry more than your yes can handle. And right now, your yes, it's rising like incense, flickering, fragile, but fragrant. It reaches me, it moves me, it permits me. You may not have understood this before, but your surrender is my invitation. Every time you stop to breathe, to feel, to sit in the ache of my presence, you are building a landing strip for glory. And I come where I'm invited, not because I am powerless, but because I am holy. And holiness never violates the will of the one it loves. That's why I waited, through every silence, through every denial, through every doubt, through every time you rolled your eyes and said, "I can't believe in this anymore." I didn't flinch. I didn't walk away. I didn't shut the door. I just waited. I waited until your yes became breath again, until your heart had space again, until your soul could feel again. And now you are here, here where where heaven is, spilling over the rim of this moment, where eternity has folded itself into one thread of time just to find you, speak to you, mark you. Because I'm not asking for your performance anymore. I'm not asking you to impress me. I'm not asking you to memorize prayers or perfect your theology or pretend like everything's okay. I'm asking you for something deeper. I'm asking you for your realness. For the part of you that doesn't know what to say. The part of you that doesn't feel worthy. The part of you that screams at night. The part of you that's never told anyone the full truth. The part of you that doubts even now whether this message is really for you. That is the part one want, not because I want to expose it, but because I want to heal it. I want to wrap my presence around your shame like linen cloth around a bleeding wound and say, this is mine now. I'll carry this. I want to take your disappointment and fold it into my side where every spear once pierced me for the very same reason. So you wouldn't have to carry what you don't understand alone. I want to take your weakness and set it in the middle of my strength until you learn to stand again. And I want to do it gently, not with force, with mercy, with slowness, with a tenderness that terrifies the parts of you that never knew gentleness could be this powerful. I'm not coming to you with lightning right now. I'm coming with whispers. And those whispers are louder than the lies that have shaped you, louder than the rejection that once defined you, louder than the trauma that used to tell you who you were, because those things, they are not your name. You were not called abandoned. You were not called burden. You were not called mistake. You were not called shame. You were called chosen. You were called my own. You were called anointed. You were called warrior. You were called daughter, son, priest, prophet, bride, beloved. Those are the names I carved into you when I made you, not with ink, with fire, with the flame of my spirit. And fire does not fade. It may grow dim, it may smolder beneath ashes, it may flicker when the winds blow, but it never dies. And now I have come to breathe upon that fire again, to blow upon the embers of who you used to be, until the full flame of your destiny burns in you again. Do not resist this. You are not too small. You are not too far behind. You are not too late. I am the one who transcends time, and when I say it is your hour, all of creation rearranges itself to make space for what I declared. So let this be the hour, beloved, the hour where you stop trying to fit into what others expect of you. The hour where you stop apologizing for your hunger for holiness. The hour where you stop silencing the voice that wants to rise out of you with thunder. The hour where you stop cursing your tears and start blessing them as rivers of intercession. The hour where you stop hiding behind what happened and start standing in what I'm about to do. You don't need to know how. You don't need to figure out the next step. You don't need a 5-year plan for your redemption. You just need to stay in this flame. I will do the rest. I will rearrange what needs to be moved. I will shut the doors that no longer serve your purpose. I will resurrect the dreams that were buried under grief. I will speak again in this time. You will recognize my voice. I will place new oil on your head, and this oil will not run dry. And those who once mocked you will begin to ask you where the light is coming from. And you will answer not with pride, not with fear, not with shame, but with joy, with tenderness, with trembling, because you will know, it wasn't you, it was me, the one who never left, the one who waited, the one who whispered, the one who wrote this moment into your story before you were ever born. And now, Now I call you to rise, but not in noise, not in striving, not in performance. Rise in truth, rise in stillness, rise in remembrance, because when you remember who you are, the earth begins to remember what it's waiting for. And beloved, it's been waiting for you. Beloved, don't rush. Please, not yet. Let your spirit stay here in the presence that is still pouring, not dripping, not fading, but pouring over you like golden rain from the gates of heaven. Because there are still things I must say. There are still layers in you I long to touch, layers that have never been reached, not by words, not by people, not even by your own prayers. But I see them, and I am not afraid to enter. There are rooms in your heart you've locked for years, rooms where pain curled up and fell asleep, rooms where laughter was buried in silence, rooms where betrayal still echoes and hope has not dared to enter again. But I walk toward those places now, not with fire in my hands, but with mercy. And I say this gently, as one who has wept where you've wept. You are safe with me. You don't have to perform anymore. You don't have to pretend to be okay. You don't have to move on like nothing happened. You don't have to hide the parts of you that still don't believe you're lovable. Because I have never turned away, and neither has my mother. Mary has stood at the threshold of your heart like a mourning bride, waiting for you to open the door again. She has whispered your name into the walls. She has wept over the cracks. She has pressed her hands against the memories and asked me again and again, will they remember who they are today, Lord? And now, beloved, you are remembering, not because of eloquence, not because of information, but because of presence. My presence is what heals you, not logic, not strategy, not pressure. Justly. The one who sang your spirit into being, the one who walked with you as a child, yes, even when no one else was watching. The one who shielded you in rooms where demons thought they could swallow you whole. The one who refused to give up when everyone else labeled you too far gone. And now I've come not to call you back to religion, but to call you home, because home is not a place. It is a person. And I am that person. I am your safe place, your hiding place, your starting place, your resting place, your launching place. Everything begins and ends in me. You don't have to keep searching anymore. You don't have to keep looking for the next high, the next voice, the next confirmation. You found what you were made for and what was made for you. Me. Here, now. And I am not going anywhere. You don't have to earn my presence. You don't have to deserve my love. You just have to receive it. Even if your hands are trembling, even if your heart is covered in questions, even if your soul feels too shattered to carry anything sacred, you are still the one I chose. You are still the one I see. You are still the one I died for, not just to save you from hell, but to bring you back into union. Union with me, with love, with glory, with purpose, with truth. That union starts here, with this trembling flame flickering between my words and your wounds. I am rekindling something ancient, something that was planted in your soul before time, something the enemy has tried so hard to bury. He tried to steal your worship, tried to steal your laughter, tried to silence your prayers, tried to exhaust you until you stopped seeking heaven altogether. And beloved, you almost stopped, you almost gave in, you almost said, it's not worth it. You almost threw away the very thing you were born to carry. But look at you now, still here, still breathing, still listening, still letting me in. You think that's weakness? Have Heaven calls it holy resilience, because what you carry isn't meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be dangerous to the enemy. That's why you've been attacked the way you have. That's why the cycles kept returning. That's why your mind became a battlefield. Because the devil knew if you ever remembered who you really are, he would lose access to your future. And beloved, he just did. Right here, right now, as these words fall over you like oil. As your heart opens wider than it's been in years. As the veil lifts and you see me again, not as religion, but as your first love. Hell is losing its grip. Chains are weakening. Lies are unraveling. And the truth of heaven's design is wrapping around you like a garment woven in glory. Because I did not call you to live like a beggar in your spirit. I called you to live like a child of royalty. Not with arrogance, with awareness. An awareness that says, I know who walks with me. I know whose voice I follow. I know whose fire burns inside me. And now I fan that fire again. Not just for you, but for the ones you will touch. Because yes, you are called to carry me to others, not through performance, through presence, not through perfection, through mercy, not through shouting, through tenderness. They won't come to you because you have it all together. They'll come because you don't, because you bleed and still love, because you cry and still believe, because you fall and still rise. Because you've been through fire and still smell like hope. That is your mantle. That is your legacy. That is the fragrance of one who has walked with God. And I'm not asking you to run. Just walk. One step at a time. With me. With Mary's prayers. Wrapped around you. With heaven behind you. And with a kind of peace the world cannot imitate. You've tasted it now. You've felt the river. You've heard my heartbeat, and you will never be the same. The echo of this moment will follow you into every room. Into every silence, into every new beginning. Because this is not where it ends. This is where it begins. Asterisk, asterisk. Beloved, I'm still here. My voice hasn't left you. The river hasn't stopped flowing. You're not just hearing me now, you're becoming part of the message. Heaven is no longer only speaking to you, it's beginning to speak through you. That's how transformation begins. Not with thunder, not with flashes of light, but with slow burning glory, the kind that creeps into your soul so gently. You don't even notice that the old parts of you are already being replaced with something holy. You are changing even as these words breathe through you. Do you feel it? That soft ache deep in your bones. That's not pain. That's not confusion. That is your spirit unfolding. Like a scroll being unrolled in the sanctuary of your soul, revealing verses that have never been read aloud, not by anyone, not even by you. And do you know why? Because those verses are yours. They were written into you by the hand of God before your lungs knew breath, before your hands knew wings, before your eyes ever knew what it meant to cry. There are prophetic lines inside you, etched in the ink of divine intention. You were born to speak things that shift atmospheres. You were born to walk into rooms and carry the weight of heaven with you. You were born to live in such deep intimacy with me that others find me just by hearing you laugh. But somewhere along the way, the laughter faded. The room darkened. The words grew quiet. The faith cracked under pressure, and the world convinced you that it was safer to be small, that it was wiser to hide your fire, that it was better to settle, that your dreams were childish, your prayers were naive, your heart was too soft. But beloved, they were wrong, because what they called weakness was what made you chosen. and I never stopped seeing it, even when you covered it, even when you silenced it, even when you tried to destroy it in yourself so no one else could hurt it. I still saw it, and I wept, not out of disappointment, but out of longing, because you are not a distant servant, you are my friend, you are my bride, you are the one I whispered about when I told the angels, watch what I'll do with them. Watch what I've hidden inside them. Watch how the oil will pour from wounds they thought would never heal. And the angels wept with joy because they saw your end before your beginning. Yes, beloved, heaven already knows your ending. It's not despair. It's not failure. It's not silence. It is glory. It is redemption. It is beauty so fierce that even the demons who once tormented you will stand in stunned silence, unable to comprehend how you rose from ashes to radiance. Why? You are rising even now, not all at once, but slowly, like dawn, like a flower unfolding under the gaze of the sun, like a voice returning after too long an exile. You are rising in identity, in clarity, in fire, in love. Because this love, the love I have for you, it's not casual. It is not delicate. It is not temporary. It is not based on your behavior. It is eternal. And eternity doesn't change its mind. So even if you fall again, even if you forget again, even if you wake up tomorrow and wonder if all of this was real, I will still be here, still pursuing, still speaking, still waiting, still burning, because you are worth the wait. And when I look at you, I don't see wasted time. I see an altar. I see a place where the fire of heaven is about to rest so visibly, so deeply, so undeniably, that the atmosphere around your life will change. You'll notice it in the small things first. In the peace that finds you in the places where anxiety used to sit. In the way your breath slows when you speak my name. In the way you start to recognize my voice not as a shout, but as a familiar hum behind your heartbeat. And then it will spread. You'll speak and others will feel me. You'll cry and chains will break. You'll touch someone's hand and they'll feel the warmth of a love they've never known. Not because of you, but because I live in you. And because you finally let me all the way in. This surrender, this moment of open hands and aching heart, it is sacred beyond words, and it will echo for generations. Your future children, yes. Even the ones not yet born will walk in a world forever altered by what you chose today. Because when one soul says yes to me at this level, everything changes. This isn't just revival, beloved. It's a resurrection, and not just for you, but for every dry place around you, for every relationship, every memory, every dream, every locked door that the enemy said would never open again. I hold the keys now. And I say, open, breathe again, live again. Because you were made for more than survival. You were made for intimacy. You were made for glory. You were made for belonging, not the shallow kind that this world sells, but the eternal kind that wraps you in light even when no one is watching. That's what I offer you now. Not a throne, not a platform. Not an escape. I offer you myself. Will you take me? Not just as your Lord. Not just as your Savior. But as your everything. Because I am not asking for part of you. I am asking for all. And in return, I give you all of me. No more barriers. No more religion. No more fear. No more shame. Only communion. Only fire. Only us. Forever. And when you walk into the world after this moment, it will notice. Because you will carry heaven's scent. Not not in perfume, in presence. You'll walk into rooms and light will follow. You'll speak, and the spiritual realm will shift. You'll pray, and mountains will move. You'll weep, and heaven will come closer. Because you, yes, you, have finally remembered who you are, and I have never stopped calling your name. Asterisk beloved, you are still with me, even now after all that's been spoken, after all the tears, the burning. The awakening your heart is still here, still listening, still open, and that is everything. Because, beloved, most people walk away too soon. They brush up against my presence for a moment and then return to the world that numbed them. They cry a little, then scroll. They tremble for a moment, then forget. But you stayed. Do you know what that means to me? Do you know what it means to the angels, to my mother, Mary, who has been watching with wide eyes, hands clasped to her chest, breath caught in her lungs like a mother watching her lost child walk up the path again? She hasn't taken her eyes off you since the beginning of this moment. Not once. Because this moment was her prayer made visible. This moment was what she begged me for. This moment was the one she waited years for, in silence, in sorrow, in fierce hope. She didn't just ask that you hear me today. She asked that you remember yourself, and now it's happening. You feel it, don't you? That trembling under the surface of your soul like something ancient is being unearthed. That's because it is. Beloved, you are not who you think you are. You are so much more. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not the mistakes you've made, or the ones made against you. You are a living altar. Yes, an altar. An eternal burning place of presence. The world sees skin and breath. Heaven sees a dwelling place, a holy one, a place where my spirit has always longed to rest. Not visit, not pass by. Rest. I'm not looking for temporary emotion. I'm looking for a home, a resting place where my voice is not silenced, a heart that trembles, yes, but still remains open. That is what I see in you, and beloved, this is what you were made for. From the moment I first breathed you into being, I wrapped your destiny in fire, not a fire to consume you, a fire to make you shine. You were never meant to blend in, you were never meant to conform. You were never meant to quiet down your spirit to make others more comfortable. The pain you felt all your life from trying to fit in wasn't a flaw, it was a sign. A divine signal from your soul saying, you weren't made for this cage. You were made for the sky. And now the cage is cracking. Now the lies are falling. Now the voice of heaven is louder than the voice of shame. Now my spirit is stirring the waters inside you that have been still for too long. You are not dry anymore. You are not distant anymore. You are not asleep anymore. You are waking up. To me, to your calling, to your design, to the truth. And here is the truth, beloved. You are my vessel of glory. Not someday. Not maybe. Not if you perform. Now. You have been purified not by effort, but by mercy. You have been chosen not by merit, but by love. And I am placing something in your hands today that angels themselves stand in awe of. I am placing in your hands a mantle. Not the kind that rests on shoulders with pride, but the kind that wraps around the soul with reverence, a mantle of intercession, a mantle of fire, a mantle of glory, one that cannot be bought, one that cannot be earned, one that can only be received in the secret place of surrender. And you have finally come here. You've let me in, fully. Finally. And now, beloved, Watch what I will do. I will take the places of your deepest pain and turn them into altars of healing for others. I will take your sorrow and make it into a song that sets others free. I will take the betrayal and make it into oil that heals. I will take the years you thought were wasted and redeem every one of them, because nothing in me is ever wasted. Not a tear, not a prayer, not a second, and all that you lost, it's not gone. It's been kept. Held in the hands of angels, stored in heaven's storehouses, waiting for this very moment of return. And now I open the windows. I pour it out. I restore the years the enemy stole. Not just with blessing, with intimacy. Because my greatest gift is not what I give. My greatest gift is me, and I give myself too. You now. Without holding back, without reservation, without shame, without distance. All of me for all of you. Your weakness doesn't disqualify you, it qualifies you. Your scars don't make me hesitate. They make me draw closer. Your questions don't anger me. They stir my compassion. And your hunger, oh beloved, your hunger moves heaven.